Hi everyone, I've been using the MacBook Pro M3 Pro 14-inch laptop for a couple of months now. This is my review. But first, for disclosure, I received this laptop from work. All opinions are my own and no company had editorial control over this video. The design is very familiar, but some tech geeks will know if it's the latest MacBook Pro because of the new darker space black color. Choosing which specification of the MacBook Pro to get was a little confusing at first. The 16-inch was out of the question because it was out of budget, which started at $2,499 plus tax. So I went with the 14-inch model. The next question was, do I get the base M3, M3 Pro, or M3 Max CPU? After some research and watching several videos on YouTube, I chose the middle ground M3 Pro that came with 18 gigs of RAM and selected the higher 1TB SSD storage so that I wouldn't need to worry about carrying a portable SSD for storage. The retail price is $2,399, which I agree is a lot, but is it worth it? To sum up the difference between the base M3 and M3 Pro, the M3 Pro has a significantly better performance over the base M3 according to other reviews, and the space black color is not available on the base M3 model. I previously had a space gray MacBook Pro and I'm preferring this space black version. I'm liking the darker look. I'm also not noticing if it makes smudges more noticeable on the darker machine, but also I try not to eat on my desk. Super happy with the display, great colors for watching videos as well as creating videos. This display has ProMotion technology for adaptive refresh rates up to 120 Hz, but to be honest, I don't notice the fast refresh rate at all. I think it's because I've used Windows laptops and displays with 169 Hz and 250 Hz refresh rates, and those are noticeably more smooth. We also have to address the notch on top of the display. While the built-in webcam looks great for video calls, and also loving the built-in camera portrait settings and lighting filters to make yourself look better, I'm not a fan of this notch. I wouldn't have cared about it if there was face unlock feature, but that's not the case here. You'll need to use the fingerprint scanner. But you could also set it up to unlock the MacBook Pro while wearing an Apple Watch, which is very handy. Speaking of webcams, another great feature is being able to use your iPhone as a wireless webcam if it's nearby. This is great if you prefer a different angle during calls. No need to install an additional app. If you're coming from Lenovo laptops, the keyboard travel is most likely going to feel very shallow, but if you're coming from other MacBooks, it'll be very familiar. I got used to it and I'm pretty comfortable with it already. The spacing is great and the layout is pretty normal. Trackpad is spacious too. Gestures, taps, swipes all work as expected. The vibration motor for clicks are also very accurate. They did a good job here. Speaking of a good job, the speakers are also up there. I'm not an audiophile, but if I blast the music in the home office, it sounds high quality, deep bass, crisp vocals. I like it. When it comes to ports, the MacBook Pro with M3 Pro has 3 Thunderbolt 4 ports, while the base M3 chip only has 2 Thunderbolt 3 ports. Probably the most useful info to know here is that the base M3 can support one display up to 6K resolution at 60 Hz, while the M3 Pro with Thunderbolt 4 can support up to 2 external displays with up to 6K resolution at 60 Hz or one external display at 8K resolution at 60 Hz. There's also an SD card reader, an HDMI port, and 3.5mm audio jack. And of course, this runs on macOS. I haven't run into any performance issues and I don't even use the default apps. For example, I prefer to use Outlook instead of Apple Mail. I also prefer Microsoft Word instead of Pages. And for browsing, I prefer Chrome over Safari. They run smoothly on this laptop. It's easy to multitask even with the smaller 14-inch display thanks to the Mac gestures. If I had the budget, I would have preferred the 16-inch for a bigger workspace, especially when working from coffee shops or on the road, but it's not a problem if you're using a bigger external display. And if you're a creator, editing videos on this MacBook is top-notch. Scrolling through timelines with 4K 10-bit log footage from my Sony camera is very smooth even at full resolution. And that's with Adobe Premiere Pro, since that's what I prefer to use instead of Apple's Final Cut. You can get the same performance from Windows laptops, but the big differences here are that you won't hear fans spinning on the MacBook Pro while you're editing or exporting, and you can edit without being plugged into a power outlet. You also don't have to worry about the battery when editing editing because it lasts at least a day, even if you're doing office and creative work. It's close to being the perfect laptop for creators. The downside here is that unlike Windows laptops, there aren't many popular games. For example, there's no Call of Duty for Mac. There's also no EA Sports FC. There are games available if you look for them, but none that I'd want to play or spend time on. If you want a laptop that will let you edit videos and do some gaming as well, then you'll be better off with a Windows laptop. Check out my other videos on this channel for some of my recommendations. Also, if you're watching this video and already own a MacBook Pro with M1 or M2 chip, I wouldn't recommend upgrading since you won't notice a significant performance change. I'm coming from a 16-inch MacBook Pro with Apple M1 Pro chip, and I feel like I've actually downgraded since the performance is pretty much the same, but now I have a smaller 14-inch laptop. Exporting videos on Premiere Pro takes about the same time. Scrolling through the timeline feels the same as well. Performance overall doesn't feel any different with any of my workflow. If this is your first MacBook Pro, you'll be really happy with the M3 Pro MacBook Pro. Excellent performance with great battery life and practically noise-free. If you're on a budget and don't mind doing extra work, then I would recommend looking at refurbished models or even used MacBook Pros with M1 Pro from trusted sellers on eBay. You'll get very similar performance for almost half the price. So that's my review of the M3 Pro MacBook Pro. Hope this video was helpful. If you like this video, please hit that like button. Thanks so much. See you in the next video.